What's up, everybody? It's Puneet checking in with OddsJam. Wanted to bring you all my positive EV $100 bet of the week. Now, as you can see here, we're looking at my screen on BetMGM, and it's the first bet here that I have my $100 bet, and that is Jonathan Taylor over 68.5 rushing yards. So again, the odds here are minus 115, stake 100, potential payout is $187. So want to show you guys where I found it. It was obviously in the expected positive EV tool on OddsJam. You can see here it is 12%. So that's awesome right off the bat. My general rule of thumb is anywhere between anything above 7-8% I take a look at, but something over 10% feels like a no-brainer most of the times. Another thing I look to and like to pay attention to is looking at the calculator here. You see that the win percentage of this based on the Pinnacle odds. So the win percentage here is 60%. For me, generally, I look at things, if they're over 50, I feel pretty comfortable, but seeing this one at 60 is huge. So that was very big for me as well. So you can see that that was already given to you here in the calculator, or you could even open up the no vig fair odds. So what this does, it shows you taking out the vig of the actual odds that are given. So with Pinnacle, 179 to hit over and plus 134 to go under 68.5. And that gives you no vig odds of minus 150 to hit, plus 150 to go under. And then comparing it back to various sports books. So it's awesome because we actually have three that we can use this on, and that is BetMGM, Caesars, and DraftKings. I went ahead and I just put it into my BetMGM account, but I really like this bet. And after doing a little bit of research, I can explain why. So going into the actual stats of it, other than OddsJam giving you a 12% positive EV bet, again, that's huge. So that's self-explanatory, but let's look a little more into the numbers. So Jonathan Taylor actually did play the Titans already once this year. He finished with 64 yards. That was when Carson Wentz was still hobbled, 2 sprained ankles. So definitely not at full power. You can see here, he also only had 10 attempts. Since then, though, he's had 16, 15, 14, and 18 attempts in the last 4 games, 3 of which he's gone over 100 yards. So safe to say that he's definitely getting more share, and that can be proven here as well. You see a snap share for that Tennessee game was 49%. Last 3 weeks, 51, 63, 64. This guy's clearly the workhorse back of the the Colts. So this is a really good value to play because it's showing that he's increasing his snap share. His carries are definitely going to be more than 10. As you can see here, that was his lowest of the season in terms of carries. So it's definitely a good sign. This is trending, and I think OddsJam and Pinnacle obviously recognize that as well. So you can look then at the game logs, like I said, and this is showing that he had 10 rushes, 64 yards, and not really any targets in the passing game. They're kind of going to Hines. So we can say it's safe to assume here that they're going to be looking at Hines a little bit more. As you can see, his reception count has kind of decreased a little bit. You know, he's only really around 3, hovering probably on average about 2 a game. But you can see here clearly that he's increasing his rushing attempts every game. And the Titans, they're playing very well right now, but so are the Colts. The Colts have been pretty hot lately. They've won 2 straight. They played Baltimore really tight, won last 3 out of 4 after starting 0-3. So definitely a good sign here. But again, going into here, looking at the positive expected value. So you see that you can come in, check in the no vig fair odds, excuse me. So again, here's where you can see that it's no vig percentage for this to hit is 60%. Like I said, for me, it's very easy for me to see 60% and almost automatically take it. You see here, there's plenty of other ones to take, which is awesome. And then on top of that, getting a 12% expected value back is huge. Looking then at the Titans games, you can see here that for the most part, other than the Titans games against the Chiefs last week, They've played everyone pretty tight to the point where you would expect every team to still have their regular game script in play. They don't have to throw it out and pass the ball the entire time. So that's the only concern you might have when you're playing, looking at this bet. I think it's going to end up being okay. Another thing to look at is the Titans they average over 100 yards. Their rush defense gives up I think it's 109 rushing yards a game. So obviously there's room there. They've definitely given up the run. They're looked at as probably a top 10 defense at this point. They are playing very well. Just not shutout, but 0 touchdowns scored for arguably the best offensive team in the league. Although they've kind of been a little disappointing lately. I think also the fact that the Titans did beat up on the Chiefs and had back-to-back wins against the Bills and the Chiefs, I think they're in for a little letdown because the Colts are kind of looked at as a dark horse of sorts. Obviously, a divisional matchup, that's huge too. That comes into play. Usually the divisional matchup games, they tend to be less high scoring, less, passing, all of that. And it's a lot of in the trenches, down and dirty. So I think that this is definitely a favorable matchup for Jonathan Taylor. I think it's almost impossible for him, barring injury, that he's only going to get 10 carries. As you can see, he's gone over 10 carries in every other game this year. Had he gotten one more carry for 6.4 per yards, 6.4 rush per carry, he would have easily gotten over that 68.5. He would have hit 70 with one more carry, most likely here. So it's definitely trending in that way to the point where I'm not too worried about this bet at all. It's like I said, it's already been put in for me. I'm cashing. I'm hoping this one's going to cash pretty easily, pretty quickly, especially given the last 2 out of 3 games. Jonathan Taylor has 100, 145, and 107. So again, you can see here, there's plenty of different bets you can pick. But for me, for football this weekend, this is probably the safest one. 1:00 game on Sunday. So I can sit back, relax, watch Jonathan Taylor carve up the Titans defense, hopefully go for over 68.5, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. Again, -179 Pinnacle true odds, and the no vig odds will show it at -150, and you're getting a huge positive EV opportunity here at -115. So with that, signing off. Hope you all place this bet as well. Good luck to you, and we'll check back in afterwards and let's all cash together. Thanks, guys.